What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we all know what 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer, who is currently the undisputed super middleweight world champion, widely considered by many to be top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, and the face of the sport of boxing, the cash cow, no doubt, and Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is 57 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach, right? Canelo Alvarez recently made some statements in which Canelo Alvarez, he stated that he didn't want to fight and wasn't willing to fight any more Mexican fighters, right? That he was going to focus on, just representing his country in Mexico, and, he didn't want to fight any more Mexican fighters. Well, that didn't go over well, obviously, with fighters that are willing and wanting to fight Canelo Alvarez, mainly undefeated 2-time WBC super middleweight world champion, Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer, David Benavidez. Okay, David Benavidez, he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's viewed as the guy, the best fighter at 168 pounds, super middleweight, okay? That's before Canelo Alvarez decided to make his debut in that division and, decided to set up shop, right? And so with that said, Canelo Alvarez clearly waited for David Benavidez to be stripped of his title. David Benavidez, first he held the WBC title. He was stripped of the WBC title due to recreational use outside the sport of boxing. Okay, and then he was stripped the second time. He regained it. He beat Anthony Durrell, picked the WBC title back up. He regained the WBC title, but he lost it on the scales during the pandemic, right? And so with that said, immediately Canelo Alvarez, he saw an opportunity, he saw an opening in Canelo Alvarez. He decided that he wanted to campaign and become undisputed in that division. And he did so in under a calendar year. But the best fighter in the division was always considered David Benavidez. And the biggest fight in the division at one point in time was David Benavidez versus the former IBF super middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant. Okay, Caleb Plant and David Benavidez was viewed as the biggest fight at super middleweight. It never came to fruition. It never happened. And Caleb Plant ended up getting the Canelo Alvarez fight. But it's abundantly clear that Canelo Alvarez does not have any interest in fighting David Benavidez, right? And, many people feel like he's using this, he don't want to fight Mexican fighters as an excuse and as a way out of fighting the best fighters in the world, which is, like I said, David Benavidez was viewed as the best super middleweight in the world at one point in time, right? And until Canelo Alvarez, that is now. Now Canelo Alvarez is viewed as the best super middleweight in the world. He's undisputed. And Caleb Plant, he got the fight. It was David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. And so now he said that he don't want to fight any more Mexican fighters because he represents Mexico. That didn't sit well with, for one, Zordo Ramirez, who was the former world champion at super middleweight and is now about to have a title opportunity at light heavyweight against the guy who just recently beat Canelo Alvarez and undefeated WBA light heavyweight world champion, Russian superstar boxer Dmitry Bivol. He outclassed and dominated Canelo Alvarez en route to a unanimous decision victory. He beat Canelo Alvarez all but 3 rounds. That's being generous, right? So Dmitry Bivol, he dominated Canelo Alvarez. So now David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez, everybody made an excuse, and the rhyme and reason that Canelo Alvarez wasn't successful against Bivol was he was daring to be great. Now he already won the title at 175, excuse me, when he beat former WBO light heavyweight world champion, Russian superstar boxer Sergey Crusher Kovalev. When Canelo Alvarez beat Sergey Crusher Kovalev, he became a 4-division world champion. So he already had success at 175, okay? But everybody said he was daring to be great. That's the reason why he lost to Dmitry Bivol. So his real natural division is 168. So he's going to campaign at 168. So the biggest fight to be made at 168. Now he's going into a trilogy match with former two-time unified middleweight world champion, superstar boxer out of Kazakhstan in Gennady Triple G Golovkin. That's September 17th. In a few weeks, you're going to get Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin in a trilogy match, right? And so with that said, after that fight, Gennady Golovkin, this is Gennady Golovkin's first fight at 168. He's never fought at 168. He's a career 160-pound middleweight fighter, okay? And so after that fight, Canelo Alvarez clearly is going to campaign at 168. And so everybody wants to see what's Canelo Alvarez's next move going to be. And everybody wants it to be David Benavidez, including David Benavidez himself, who's the mandatory WBC challenger for Canelo Alvarez's WBC title, right? And David Benavidez's father, Jose Benavidez Sr., okay? Jose Benavidez Sr. recently made some statements regarding Canelo Alvarez's statement that he don't want to fight any more Mexican fighters. Jose Benavidez said that's the reason why Canelo Alvarez will not go down in history and not get recognized as one of the all-time great Mexican fighters. And that's why Mexican fan base and Mexican legends of the past don't view Canelo Alvarez as one of them, okay? They don't think that Canelo Alvarez, represents what they represent, right? So Jose Benavidez, he said that, he stated that, some of the greatest fights in the history of the sport of boxing was Mexican on Mexican fights, right? So he said that he's gonna buy Canelo Alvarez a chain with balls on him. He said that Canelo Alvarez needs to grow a pair, and he's gonna buy him a chain. He said, I'm gonna buy Canelo Alvarez a chain to wear, and it's gonna have a set of balls on him, right? So he said that, Canelo Alvarez is not showing any heart. He's not respecting the sport, and he's just doing this to avoid fighting Zordo Ramirez, and he's doing this to avoid fighting David Benavidez, which also is ironic because Zordo Ramirez, he heard his comments. He was asked about the comments made by Canelo Alvarez, and Zordo Ramirez said he's not Mexican. He got his citizenship. He said, I'm American, right? So Zordo Ramirez is saying and doing whatever he can to try to secure opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez. He was trying to vie for an opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez before David Benavidez was. Zordo Ramirez and Canelo Alvarez was being talked about as a major fight for quite some time, right? But Canelo Alvarez, he made it abundantly clear he had no interest in fighting Zordo Ramirez. And so Zordo, he just got to the point where he looked at it and he viewed it and he said, what's the point in chasing this guy? He's never going to fight me, right? So it's ironic. Zordo said that, he said that I'm not Mexican, I got my citizenship, I'm American, right? So Zordo Ramirez, he's trying to go to whatever measure he can, to secure a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Everybody wants to prove themselves against Canelo Alvarez. And one of the big things I would say is when you say that you represent your country, well, you should want them to eat, help them eat, right? You taking food out their mouth. If you consider the cash cow in the sport of boxing, right? You consider that guy, then help you represent your country and your people, then you want them to eat. And it's abundantly clear Canelo Alvarez does not fancy those fights simply because Canelo Alvarez views them as a massive challenge, okay? Ultimately, that's how I view it. I think Canelo Alvarez views David Benavidez, who is 6 feet tall, 6'1", with a 74-inch arm reach, power in both hands, very fast hands, very aggressive. Canelo Alvarez don't like that style matchup, right? And the same thing, Zurdo is even bigger than David Benavidez. So it just speaks volumes that, you know, Canelo Alvarez don't like that matchup. And he clearly don't feel like he can be successful in those fights. Point blank and period. Hence the reason why he's saying that. He just simply don't want to fight any more Mexican fighters, period. You know, so that's how I view it. And Jose Benavidez Sr. saying that he's gonna buy Canelo Alvarez a chain that have a set of balls on it. Wow. So let's see how this all unfolds. Canelo Alvarez obviously got to get past Gennady Triple G Golovkin, which is, that fight is September 17th. And then we see where we go. Zurdo got to get past Dimitri Bivol, which is no walk in the park. And David Benavidez don't have a fight. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But Jose Benavidez Sr. said Canelo Alvarez will never be recognized as an all-time Mexican great because of his mindset. And he wants to buy him a chain with balls on him. Maybe he gets some. Wow. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.